Okay, here we are, still creatively resisting in a bohemian way. We're still loaded with press. Momentum is growing. We have a cabaret night. Of course, not music again. It's going to be a chess tournament. Bring a chess table. Anyone with a chessboard is going to be let in. And yeah, so cabaret night tonight. Pack this place with lots of people so they can't do anything anyway, but that's not the reason. Pack it because that's what it's for. It's going to be fucking rocking. It's going to be beautiful. And of course, no music, nothing here, no. Safe Soho, safe Soho.
We got music here tonight.
No, not music, it's chess.
Oh yeah, chess, sorry.
Chess tournament. Yeah, bring
We're having a community meeting from 7 o'clock with people entertaining themselves. Remember kids, music is illegal now in Britain, so don't let the authorities catch you playing music.
Oh yes.
The Blue Meanies will come and they will shut down your grassroots venues, your squats, and
you
your
can get
centre of
arrested.
British music culture that radiated out around the world. Isn't it pity that many people have left these isles to go and have a bit of freedom in other countries where they can play their sound systems and they can play their music? But you know, if you let them get away with it here in the centre of British popular music, you know, Denmark Street, then they'll be coming to your area next.
Yeah.
And you'll have to ask written permission to play a guitar.
Exactly.
I think singing might be. Or
they don't care about people smoking weed, but they care about people playing music. That's an illegal act.
Yeah.
Well,
especially if there's more than 2 or 3 of them. That's called a dangerous assembly.
Yes.
Musicians are very subversive people.
I remember those days. Good old Soviet days.
No fucking music, says Comrade Stalin.
The Hungarian punk was great because they got raided by the police all the time, and it was fucking crazy.
Tell us what in Hungary?
Yeah, when punk, of course, it came from here, from Timpanelli to Hungary anyway, because punk started here. But any punk band was raided by the police, so that's why they became big. It was rebellion, big illegal music.
In the communist days.
Yeah.
The communists.
Yeah, in the 70s.
Raided the punks, of course. They didn't want people who were going to, you know, uprise against the regime.
Exactly. Now it's corporate control. They just fuck you out of your venue. You have to turn it into a disco, or you're just gonna starve, or they have to shut
Communist
down.
control or corporate control?
Yeah.
Puppet masters.
Yeah, choose your masters, choose your oppressors, choose your destiny, as the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you probably said it all already, but you know, this place here is so world famous. You know, the Rolling Stones played here, that David Bowie played here.
Yeah. They were born here, basically.
Played here.
They recorded their first album here in the alley, which is now asking for our protection. The Rolling Stones had their first album in Enterprise Studios, I think.
In Enterprise Studios?
They've got it now. The workers are working really fast. We've been concentrating on the campaign, and it's running really fine. But now we have to physically do something. So I think we're going to start a new hashtag. Yeah. Hashtag Occupy Timpanelli.
All good.
The new hashtag is Occupy Timpanelli, and you know what that means, people. This is going out on the Occupy channels. Get the old pop-up tents up and Occupy Timpanelli.
Okay, well, what should happen is, you know, the developers be able to sit down with all the local campaign groups and all the ex-regulars of this bar and have a proper consultation where they listen to everyone's concerns,
and the guitar
actual
shop owners.
perimeter and the guitar shop owners and local businesses, and everyone get together and have a reasonable, cooperative, common sense discussion. And the whole perimeter of this 12 bar should be saved as a grassroots music venue. The people who used to run this place are really pissed off because they've had to move up to Holloway, not on Denmark Street, which is the centre of British music culture, and you know,
and they're struggling up there in
they're going to knock the back third of this off, and there's going to be an 800-seater venue. I mean, the developer's saying, oh, we're going to keep a music venue here, but it's going to be an 800-seater venue that someone at the public meeting the other day said it's owned by some corporation that is owned by Tesco's. So you can have a Tesco venue in there that's going to cost you 39 quid to get in.
That really helps.
15 quid 27 for popcorn, a burger and a pint or whatever it is. And
not to mention the music.
Grassroots. It's not going to be.
No.
They should preserve the 12 bar as a grassroots venue with a big blue plaque there saying Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, David Bowie, the Who,
Pistols,
Sex Pistols, the Beatles, the blah blah blah. All these people came to this street and created British music culture that has gone round the world. Now, like Matey made a point in a video the other day, people don't just come to this country to see, you know, come to see the Queen. They come to see this country because of Led Zeppelin, because of the Rolling Stones, because of, you know, all these famous music bands, you know, Libertines, Adele, you know, all these groups that have come out of, they come out of squats. And
Yes.
they come out of grassroots venues. Let's never forget that basically, you know, squatting culture has helped create a massive amount of, you know, music and bands in this country. Eurythmics created Sweet Dreams only because they lived in a squat in Camden Square and could afford to buy a synthesizer that they then wrote and made Sweet Dreams on. By living in squats on a, you know, with less money, not having to work 67 hours a week to actually pay your rent and your mortgage, grip of death or whatever it is, people have, artists, musicians, poets, rappers, performers have time to practice their art, to practice their guitars and their music, and to come together and meet other people. And you know, the government recently criminalised residential squatting, absolutely draconian law, even though 96% of the public consultation said don't criminalise it, including judges, lawyers, police federation, homeless charities, squatters, travellers and gypsy groups, lots of different NGOs.
Lords
said,
even.
said don't criminalise residential squatting. It'd been an absolute disaster. And now what we're seeing is that, you know, this government's housing policy has turned from a housing crisis into a housing car crash. You know, many people are freezing to death on the streets. Mike Weatherly and the other MP that brought this in are
Mr. Fear, if you're watching.
It's murder. You know, people are dying on the streets, freezing to death on the streets. The other day, I saw an interview about this place. The manager of the Cockpit Theatre said they got a 22-year-old girl and brought her in because she was freezing outside on the streets. And they brought her into the Cockpit Theatre. They rung the homeless. You know, they all say to you, why don't you go through the normal homeless channels? And they said, we can't. They said, come and pick her up from the Cockpit Theatre. They said, we can't pick her up from the Cockpit Theatre. She has to be picked up on the street. We can't pick people up from an address. They have to be homeless. They have to be on the street. So they put her back out on the street with a duvet. The next day she was dead. She froze to death. Her name is Kinga. I think they've launched a campaign, some of the staff at the Cockpit Theatre, the Kinga campaign.
Sounds like
we don't want
Hungarian
any
name,
more of our sons, daughters, uncles, mothers, fathers, granddads, people who fought for their country to freeze to death on the streets. There's 1.5 million empty buildings out there in the UK. It came out of the love activist thing over them evicting us on Christmas Eve. People were going to do the Christmas dinner for the homeless. There's 1.5 million empty buildings in the UK. That's Empty Homes Agency figures. That's 900,000 residential buildings and 600,000 empty commercial buildings. And the homeless figure is actually about 120,000 people. So that's 15 empty buildings for every homeless person. No one needs to be homeless. As the love activists are saying on their 26 city tour with the food kitchen, we have the tools. We have the tools to provide everyone in this country with a home. Why don't we just do it?
Come together in your community, organize, use your empty spaces. Do it yourself.
Do it yourself. DIY culture. That's what we call squatting for years. Do it yourself.
Connect into networks and you can't go wrong.
Use the space. House yourselves. You know, give us 100 crowbars and, you know, we'll create housing for everyone. We just, you know, we don't wait around for the government. Do it yourself.
Which reminds me, tomorrow is the March for Home, so watch out for it. It's going to be big.
Come, network it tonight. If you're out there on your keyboard warriors around the computers, text it, tweet it, Facebook it. I think one part of the march, the south one starts from Elephant and Castle, and then the east one starts from, is it around Shoreditch? There's a church near Shoreditch.
All I know is that they come together around London Bridge. That's when I
come together around London
momentum,
Bridge,
and then it goes boom.
And then it appears at Boris Johnson's gaff, City Hall. Let's occupy.
They might
City
come
Hall.
here to party. We're going to have a few nice police helicopters.
Bring your mobile sound system, bring your drums, bring your people, network.
Take the streets.
Look it up on the internet. March for Homes, January 31st. There's another one in April as well. Let's make housing the biggest issue of this, you know, what's going on this year. And, you know, I think that...
And the killing of culture, because I don't want to live anywhere without culture.
that Syriza party that's just gotten in Greece, they said some of the first things they're going to sort out is that no one is starving and hungry, and the second one that everyone's got housing. Before they do anything else, you sort of basically, you're supposed to be looking after people. You're a government. You should sort people out with food and shelter. Basic human rights. Keep networking, keep squatting. Come down to 12 bar. We got
and don't forget hashtag.
A few days lined up there.
Oh, hello.
Lively. All right. So repeal the law on squatting. Repeal the LASPO Act that removed our rights to legal aid. And make a list of all the 1.5 million empty buildings. Anything that's empty over a year should be opened up so that builders, electricians, plumbers and whoever can fix it up, and then you can house families. It can be health and safety checked, and then families can go in. All ages of people can have somewhere to live. Let's get on with the common sense policies for the future.
Exactly, and all of you occupiers, get the old pop-up tents out and occupy Timpanelli, if you catch my drift.
Occupy you.
Now is the time. Ciao, ciao. Then any wisdom?
No, just come out tomorrow. Just be there, boots on the ground. It's needed.
Oh yeah.
just
And then we
remember
can
that
have
we're
a party
looking for
here.
Practical solutions.
Oh, no
We're
party.
coming up to some of the coldest weeks. Apparently, according to the Met, it's going to be some of the coldest weeks this
Yeah, it's
year.
coming. They told so that it's going to be
some
cold.
very quick and practical solutions are going to need to be found.
And if you come this way, after the march, we can just shut down the Soho and have a big fucking street party. Once you have enough people, you know, every little helps. Tesco says so. It's 7, but they are restreaming us sometimes to the global.
Is that
channel.
going on Occupy London or hashtag?
Yes,
whatever?
everything. Occupy News Network, Occupy London, and all the other channels.
Hello, Phoenix.
Which is good. Oh, Viti, I don't want to give them any AdWords spots. Okay, so we'll be back a bit later. I'm gonna have to reserve the battery, and ciao ciao.